In 1924, an explorer vanished while searching for the so-called city of the Serpent Gods. His final journal entry was brief. "They warned me not to dig deeper." But what I found, it wasn't built by human hands. When his journal resurfaced, every page had been torn out, except for this single message. No one could explain who returned it or why. Almost a century later, strange artifacts matching his descriptions have appeared in private collections. Their origins remain untraceable, and their craftsmanship challenges what we know about ancient civilizations. The explorer's disappearance has never been solved. The questions linger: what did he witness, and who wanted it kept secret?
Subscribe now and turn on notifications to never miss a story.
Professor Elias Cartwright stands at the center of this enigma. On November 17, 1924, he vanished while leading an expedition along the peninsula. His journal, recovered years later, contains descriptions of structures that do not match any known civilization. Massive stone blocks fused seamlessly. Statues blending human and reptilian forms, each positioned to mark celestial events with uncanny precision. The most striking detail comes from his last intact page-chamber wall carved with metallic hieroglyphs that glowed faintly at his touch. The journal's return only deepened the mystery. It arrived at his publisher's office in London 3 years after Cartwright disappeared, stripped of every page except the final entry. Forensic analysis failed to reveal any fingerprints or evidence of tampering, but traces of an unfamiliar metallic compound lingered on the binding. Modern X-ray scans later revealed faint impressions where missing pages once lay, hinting at references to the Guardians and the First City. Artifacts matching Cartwright's descriptions have surfaced in recent years. In 2018, a Zurich auction catalog listed a jade figurine nearly identical to the temple idols he described. The seller claimed it dated to 1200 BC, but tests revealed gold inlays with a purity and crystalline structure unknown to ancient metallurgy. Since then, 7 similar objects have emerged, only to vanish again into the hands of private collectors. Each time the trail goes cold, ownership records disappear, and the artifacts are never displayed publicly. Cartwright's fate echoes earlier cases. In 1891, surveyor James Worthington vanished in the Amazon, leaving behind a compass that spun erratically near certain stone formations. Local guides refused to approach, describing the area as the place where gods bury their mistakes. In 1912, Swiss explorer Johann Weber disappeared while investigating megalithic pyramids in Indonesia. His last letter warned of men who watch from the shadows. The pattern is clear. Explorers who document anomalies often disappear, and their findings are quietly erased. Analysis of the Zurich jade figurine revealed tool marks too precise for Bronze Age technology. The gold inlay contained trace elements from meteorites, arranged in an alloy configuration that modern science cannot replicate. Cartwright's private correspondence, released decades later, shows he felt watched and manipulated. "Certain parties have taken interest in our work," he wrote to a colleague, asking detailed questions about the inscription's directions. Across continents and centuries, legends and myths surface that mirror these account stories of lost cities, serpent gods, and guardians who keep forbidden knowledge from the world. I fear we're being steered toward something. Satellite imaging in 2016 identified geometric formations in the jungle that matched Cartwright's notes. When a team attempted to investigate, their equipment failed and their GPS records were wiped. Witnesses reported seeing tall, strange figures watching from the tree line. The pattern extends beyond lost explorers and mysterious artifacts. Evidence disappears. Records are seized and witnesses forget crucial details. The systematic removal of proof suggests a deliberate effort to protect something much older than any one expedition. Yet Cartwright's story is only one thread, across continents and centuries. Legends and myths surfaced that mirrored these account stories of lost cities, Serpent Gods and Guardians, who keep forbidden knowledge from the world, across continents and centuries. The myth of a lost, advanced city appears in the records of the Maya, Egyptians, and Sumerians. The Maya spoke of El Dorado golden temples, where priests used knowledge of the stars to chart the future. Egyptian texts described Amenti, a subterranean world ruled by Osiris. Its halls supported by metallic pillars that shimmered with a strange energy. Sumerian tablets chronicled Eridu, a place where gods imparted the skills of civilization writing, agriculture, mathematics before vanishing. Despite vast distances and a lack of contact, these cultures depicted cities with remarkable similarities. Stepped pyramids, serpent human deities, and secretive societies that guarded the city's knowledge. Archaeological discoveries have only deepened the mystery. Guatemala. A Mayan observatory was found with crystal lenses that refract sunlight into patterns matching ancient descriptions. Egypt's Valley Temple contains basalt blocks, each weighing hundreds of tons, arranged in ways that echo the blueprints of Sumerian ziggurats. Mineral analysis from both sites revealed traces of an unusual compound, one that modern laboratories have yet to replicate. These findings suggest that the legends may not be pure invention, but memories of a shared origin. The guardians of these cities appear in every tradition, forcing strict hierarchies and testing those who seek forbidden knowledge. Mayan codices describe initiates drinking hallucinogenic brews before gaining access to sacred texts. Sumerian seals show hooded figures administering oaths with serpent-shaped staffs. Egyptian reliefs depict priests extracting memories from those who fail their trials. Linguistic studies have traced a common root in the words for these guardian groups, peering across languages separated by thousands of years and great distances. Obstacles persist in the modern search for these cities. A LiDAR survey in Guatemala revealed geometric anomalies in the jungle, only for the project to halt after key researchers lost the ability to read maps. A German archaeologist's data on Eridu vanished after a mysterious electromagnetic pulse erased his equipment. Satellite scans over Amenti's theorized location near the Sphinx show moving heat signatures beneath the bedrock. But no explanation has been found. The details, precise astronomical alignments, impossible materials, secretive guardians form a pattern too specific to dismiss as coincidence. When isolated cultures describe identical technologies and rituals, the possibility of a shared source becomes difficult to ignore. Ancient texts often include warnings, the Papo Va claims. The first city still stands, but the gods reshaped the eyes of men so they would not see it. Sumerian records caution that rediscovering Eridu would bring back the Watchers. Each culture, in its own way, insisted that these cities were never meant to be found by ordinary means. As the evidence and legends converge, a new question emerges not just about the cities themselves, but about those who have inherited their secrets and shaped the course of history from the shadows. Patterns of influence emerge when you examine the circles of power behind world events. 13 of the 39 signers of the U.S. Constitution bore the marks of the same secret society, a detail that historians have documented but rarely explained. These connections are not limited to the founding of nations. Across centuries, influential groups appear at pivotal moments, shaping outcomes in ways that suggest access to knowledge or resources beyond what is publicly available. Their presence is marked by ritual, coded language, and a deliberate cultivation of secrecy. The Knights Templar, for example, rose to prominence during the Crusades, establishing an early international banking network and accumulating immense wealth. Their architectural legacy, cathedrals with hidden symbols and advanced engineering, coincided with a leap in European construction techniques. When the Templars were targeted and dissolved by King Philip IV, their financial systems and knowledge did not vanish. Within a year, similar networks emerged in Switzerland and Scotland, led by new guilds whose origins remained unclear. The continuity and speed of this transition point to careful planning and hidden alliances. alliances. Certain families have maintained their influence for generations, whether in wars, revolutions, and economic upheavals. Panama Papers leak in 2016 exposed just how deeply these dynasties are embedded in global finance. With three bloodlines accounting for the majority of offshore holdings revealed, their strategies are subtle but far-reaching. Rockefeller Foundation grant in the 1920s seeded human genetics research, while a Rothschild-controlled mining company quietly acquired patents for rare earth elements. Before their strategic value was understood, the mechanisms are complex, the pattern is unmistakable. Knowledge and power are preserved and extended through carefully controlled channels. Modern secret societies continue these traditions. The Bohemian Club's annual gathering at Bohemian Grove draws political and corporate leaders under strict confidentiality. While stories of rituals and ceremonies persist, the true influence lies in what is discussed behind closed doors. Declassified documents note that major policy shifts often follow these retreats, with investment patterns and legislative changes aligning in ways that suggest coordinated action. Government surveillance has occasionally glimpsed the inner workings of such groups. FBI files from the late 1970s reference the Council, a network of industrialists and scientists who discuss technologies years ahead of public knowledge. One transcript records a warning about the dangers of advancing superconductors too quickly. The scientist involved disappeared soon after, and the investigation ended with redacted reports. These episodes surface and vanish, leaving only fragments behind. Technological leaps often follow a similar trajectory. A rapid shift from vacuum tubes to transistors, for instance, occurred just as international patents expired. Oil companies have quietly acquired and shelved alternative energy patents for decades. Board members linked to secretive organizations. The release of new knowledge appears managed, not accidental. What emerges is not a conspiracy in the traditional sense, but a system of control that operates quietly, weaving through finance, science, and politics. The evidence is scattered, but the recurring involvement of hidden societies raises questions about how much of history is truly accidental. The pattern is difficult to ignore, even if the full picture remains incomplete. Unanswered questions remain at the heart of this story. Explorers disappear without a trace. Artifacts surface that resist explanation. Influential figures are present at the turning points of history. Their actions and connections noted but not fully understood. As historian Mitch Horowitz observes, the question of secret societies is probably the most contentious in the occult. The debate is ongoing, and suspicion persists because so much remains hidden. This isn't about proving a grand conspiracy. It is about acknowledging the gaps in our understanding. Who holds forgotten knowledge? And why do the same symbols and lineages endure? The answers may still be buried. The only real mistake is assuming there is nothing left to discover.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more exciting content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.